Hello and good evening. Thank you for joining me. And very happy Indian Independence Day for everyone who's joining. And it's about 8:15 in Mumbai over here in India. It took me a bit of time to start because I was just getting all the placements of it right. I'm broadcasting simultaneously on Facebook and on Instagram, so using my phone and the laptop. And thank you everyone for joining on this holiday and a very happy day for everyone in our country, the Independence Day. And once again, wishing you a very happy Independence Day. Now, I have not been here too much this week. I've not done a Foodocracy India broadcast, and nor have I done a Foodocracy for her broadcast. And it's been a busy week with multiple things. In some cases, few personal family commitments, then work. So yesterday I conducted a food blogging workshop on bookaworkshop.in, and then I saw that it was quite an auspicious or interesting date because today is the 15th, and yesterday I did a workshop on food blogging, and it's really food blogging which in a way put me onto the path towards a bit of personal independence for me. So it was a lucky coincidence, and that went off well. So the week went into preparing for that. Like I also said, there was some family work. It was my wife's Parsi birthday, Rojnu birthday, like they call it, and now Navroz is coming up, the new year tomorrow. It's Pateti today, so it's been a lot of action. The car conked off in between, but we got someone to fix it. So it's been good. I think that at the time of the lockdown, to have a busy week is not a bad thing, after 4 months, 5 months, where we're sometimes wondering what to do with our day, to have a week where you're completely action packed was good. So I think this must be the first week since I started it when I've not done a Foodocracy for her broadcast, and I was not planning to do a Foodocracy India as well, but I thought let's do it today. And I've been meaning to talk about this place for a while, and it's raining in Mumbai as it has been for the past few days, and it had seemed like a good idea to talk about this place on a rainy day, and and you'll soon realize why. And there's another reason for talking about that place today, because there's a fair bit of history involved in this place. In fact, lot of history, especially from a Mumbai context. And well, Independence Day is all about history, so it sort of comes in together. Now, what is Foodocracy India for people who are joining probably for the first time here? And for people who are coming back, thanks for joining in. And as you know that as the lockdown had started, I don't know, 4 months back, 5 months back, it seems never ending. But no wonder, no matter, I've been talking to people, and it's interesting to see the sort of interesting work, innovative work which they're doing. So when I started this program at the beginning of the lockdown, the idea was to talk about eateries, street food joints, family run places, historical places. So today is a mix of both family and historical places, modern cafes, all of that. All these restaurants and eateries which are there in the bylanes of our country, and sometimes they're hidden gems in a way for us, but the locals know them very well, and they're very popular with the people who go there. And in fact, that's why I called it Foodocracy, because it's a play on the word democracy, and we of course say that our country is the most populous democracy in the world, and that's why I said that these are places where India eats. So it might not necessarily make it to some list of best places to go to a particular city, or best place to try a particular dish, but these are places where whoever goes there normally comes back with a happy experience and goes there again and again. And in my case, it's more about sharing my stories of visiting these places. It's not really about doing some major scholastic analysis or deep dive for that. And that's it. It's just sharing some food joy in a time when you really need a lot of hope and joy. And hopefully it'll also encourage us and people in the food and beverage industry to write fresh stories, and for these places to continue doing the wonderful work which they have been doing. And that's the idea. And today I'm going to speak to you about a place in Mumbai, and it's called Puncham Puriwala, and there's a lot of stories about this place right from, in fact, even right from its name. And we're going to talk about some of that today. And it's just fun. So just sit back, and I would encourage you to use this hashtag Foodocracy India, and I'm going to put that in the comment section also now, and share your own stories of your favorite eating places across the country. And in fact, what better day than our Independence Day to do that, and which was social media which you're comfortable with, which format you're comfortable with, just do that. And thanks everyone for joining in. I'm seeing your comments and seeing your waves, and I'm waving back at you, and I'm sort of mentally saying hello to you in spirit. This is a sort of a podcast, so I might not be taking comments in between, but I'm seeing your comments, and I'll be answering them towards the end of this podcast, and I'll also save it and put it up on IGTV and Facebook, and all the works for you to see it later. Okay, so like I said, Independence Day is about history, and rainy days, which it is in Mumbai, is all about hot and crunchy food, and this place is a mix of both, which is Puncham Puriwala. So as the name suggests, it's puri. So that's what this place is into. It's fascinating about the type of puris which are there across our country. For people who are joining in from outside of India, puri is a local Indian flatbread, which is made either with whole wheat flour or refined flour, or and it's deep fried, and it's there are different renditions across the country. And in this place, while it's a place in Mumbai, in west of India, but the sort of puris which you get here originate from the north, from Uttar Pradesh, and from Agra, where the Taj Mahal is, and this is sort of like the Taj Mahal of food which we are talking about. So Puncham Puriwala, my first visit to it was about in 2010 or so, and I've kept going there again and again after that, though I've seen it even before. So it's very close to what we call today the Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus, which is the primary train terminus or station in Mumbai, and which was earlier called the Victoria terminus. So it's very close to that. But interestingly, it dates even from longer than that. So someone is saying no audio. Anil Raj Kapoor is saying that. So guys, if you're having any issues in hearing me, just type in, and if you can hear me, someone just type in the comments and tell me that I'm audible. Otherwise, it's a bit funny because you'll just hear me miming away, and maybe if the person who's saying no audio probably has an issue at his end. If someone who can hear me can just type in the comment section and tell me that you're hearing me. Yeah. So Puncham Puriwala is, like I said, I mean, it's really famous for its puris. Okay, so Desi Delhi by Raka and my side of the story, and everyone saying that they can hear the audio. Thank you so much. So I've been seeing this place ever since I've been in Mumbai, and I've moved into the city 20 years back. In fact, when I first came to the city from Kolkata, it was by the train to CST. At that time, it was still called Victoria Terminus. And for a lot of people who came into Mumbai, it was the city of dreams. It was really the Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus, or VT, where people would come and get off. Of course, now people fly in, and their buses, and there are other train stations like at Kurla and so on. But that was really the hub, and even right up to the 1990s when I moved in. If you come to Mumbai to follow your dreams, you'd come to CST or VT. So the story of Puncham Puriwala, the legend goes, started more than 150 years back in 1857 or so. So which is roughly the time when India's first railway network was set up, and the first train was from Mumbai to Thane, which today Thane seems almost like a part of Mumbai, but at that time it was a long train journey which connected the two places, and we read about that in history in school back in Calcutta, and now of course it's a part of my life. And but like I said, I mean, the story of Puncham Puriwala actually started before that, and which actually makes it possibly the longest running restaurant or eatery in Mumbai today. So, like I told you, I'll give you a bit of history, and then I'm going to give you some nice food for the rainy evenings, which is what you get at Puncham Puriwala. So, there was a gentleman called Pancham, who the legend goes came from Agra to Mumbai, and this was before the Victoria terminus came up, before there were trains. So back then he had to walk down from Agra in Uttar Pradesh to Mumbai, and legend goes that it took him 40 days, to walk down from there to Mumbai. And then what he did was that he set up a little stall, close to where the terminus stands today, and that's what the story goes, and where he started selling puri and bhaji. Now, like if you're from India, know Indian food, you know what a puri is. But like I said, if you're not from India, it's a fried flatbread, Indian fried flatbread, which is what a puri is. So he would sell puri and bhaji, which is stir fried vegetables and potato curries, pumpkin curries, and so on. And that's how the story of Pancham Puriwala started. A little stall over there, and here's a bit of Mumbai history. At that time in 1850s, there still weren't really any restaurants or sit down eateries in the city of Mumbai. It was an alien culture to the city, from what I understand, because both in the Hindu community as well as in the Muslim community, the concept of going out of home and eating was frowned upon, and the British would stick to their clubs and so on. So there was no need for a restaurant or an eatery. So there were these things called khanawars, a Maharashtrian word. So I hope I've pronounced it properly. Khanawar with an R, which are these roadside sort of places where people would sell food for itinerant folks, the travelers. So that's what Pancham started doing. So he did this khanawar, and he would sell puri and bhaji, and now his name is Pancham, right? So in Hindi it means the fifth. Actually, even in Bengali it is Pancham. So it means the fifth. So he started this practice of, in every plate he would give 5 puris and the curry with it. So today when you look at restaurants and fast food joints and so on, they talk about consistency and differentiating that from home food in terms of the weight of the food or the number of items on the plate, that it should be always the same. So way back in the 1850s, Pancham was doing that. So everyone would get 5 puris in the plate. So that's because his name was Pancham. So the legend goes. And these are stories which, a bit of it is of course hearsay, but some of it is also told by the family. So you need to take it with a pinch of salt or achar, but so be it. But the fact is that it used to be 5 puris per plate, and then eventually then the terminus came up, and train services started, and who knows, I'm just painting a picture here and completely imagination, but perhaps all the folks who were working on setting up the Victoria terminus probably would be eating at Pancham Puriwala. Maybe it was a bit of like the CBD canteen over there, and then later when the train services started, then people who came to Mumbai from out of town would get off and go to Pancham Puri or Pancham and have his puris, or when people were going out of town, maybe they would pack their puris and move on. Then with time, as the city of Mumbai developed, that area of Fort where VT is became the first CBD, commercial business district, and that's where the legal centers came up, the stock exchange, the Bombay Stock Exchange, the banking places, the insurance buildings. They were all in that area of what is called Fort, Horniman Circle, and so on. And Pancham also grew with time, and from a little counter and a stall with maybe some benches kept for people to eat, it became a covered shop. And then the name stuck on, which is Pancham Puriwala. So it remained to be named after the founder. And with time, it became a thriving restaurant. Now, restaurant is a very ambitious word for it. It's actually a very tiny eatery. And that's what I saw when I went in 2010. And I still keep going there. I went there, I think, this year, if not last, this year probably. That there's some seating space downstairs, and then a tiny staircase, and you can climb and go up to the mezzanine floor. Look at this, Independence Day, empty roads, and there's someone going out there honking. I don't know what's wrong with people. So I remember the first time I went there was in 2010. I was working in a market research office, which was at a place called Lakshmi Building, and I went with my office colleagues to Puncham Puriwala, and there was no place to sit downstairs on our office time. So we climbed up and tiny little place, and we sat down, 4 5 of us, and tiny table. We all squeezed in. One of my colleagues was pretty big, Deepak, and it reminded me of these little places near the Howrah station in Calcutta, which are famous for their hing kochuri, asafoetida. So we placed our orders, and we had sada puri, masala puri, which is stuffed in masala. We had bhindi, we had the bhopla curry, which is pumpkin curry, and potato bhajis and so on. I think we had a very nice meal. We had lassi, we had chas, buttermilk, spiced buttermilk, and very very inexpensive. And we had a good meal. No. The tummy report was fine. The belly acted completely okay. No acidity, nothing. It was good food. And why wouldn't it be? Because we look downstairs, and we talk about open kitchen and all of that. So there was a place right down beside the cash counter where the puris were being fried, and there were these huge karais which are still there, and these gentlemen, old sort of cooks in lungis and banyans, just sitting there, and with a in a sort of rhythm of a monk, frying one puri after another, one puri after. It's almost like a trance of a Sufi saint, frying the puris, and then you place your orders, the puris come straight to you, the curries come straight to you. They have thalis also now, so you get vegetarian food with rice, dal, and all of that. And I've gone there many times. I've shot there. I've taken people on food walks. I've written about it. Puncham Puriwala features in my book, The Traveling Belly. We shot the book's cover first over there. Then the publishing house felt that it was a bit too grimy, so we went and shot somewhere else. But that's another story. But over the time when I've gone there, then I've got to meet the family who runs it now. So it's run by the seventh or eighth generation of Mr. Pancham. So one is I've met a gentleman called Anup who runs it, and his family. So he's a friend of our friend Dr. Kurush Dalal. They were in college together, and very very nice gentleman. Always dressed in white when he's there, and then he has like it typically is in these places. There are these there are these manager and cooks who've been there for a while. Long and Saurabh is saying Jasawala, who's a Parsi from Mumbai, staying in Delhi right now, saying patient of a saint frying hundreds of puris. I don't know whether it's patience of a saint, or would I say it's a concentration of an ustad. In fact, yesterday, Saurabh, in our workshop you were there, we were talking about creativity and how when you're in the search for creative excellence, you forget everything else. So maybe the person who's frying puri, we talk about mindful eating. It's all about mindful frying over there. It's about the precision of getting each puri right. The temperature, the heat, that everything should be cooked evenly. Nothing should get overburnt. The fluffiness should be right. The crunch, the texture, and also of safety, because it's a lot of oil. In fact, my side of the story is asking if it's like Maharani in Kolkata, which is a place near Deshapur Park, again run by a former UPite, nice, known for his kachoris and alus. Yes and no. It's a much larger version of Maharani in terms of more puris, a more central place. I mean, imagine a Maharani at Howrah station, and big karais, and more action happening over there, and stuff. So I met Anup, a very nice gentleman. When he's not there, his managers are there, and the fact is that despite it being so crowded and so close to the station, the staff knows all the regular customers, and most of the customers there are regulars, but they're also a mix of itinerant travelers. So all these principles which we talk of in modern day hotel management in terms of consumer engagement, consistency, freshness, sourcing, all of that is shown in Mumbai's original restaurant. I mean, how nice is that? And also, I once asked them that what was the original menu like, recipe like. So it is the puris, and they have something called a bhopla curry, which is a curry made with pumpkin, and there are these little red chili flakes in it which give a bite of heat, and that combination is very nice. So the pumpkin is kaddu is sweet, the bopla, and the red chili flakes, give you a dash of fire in the belly, and combined with the puris, and they have added varieties to the puri. So there's a fried puri, a sada puri, then there's a masala stuffed puri, there's a dal puri perhaps, and then there's a green one which is the spinach puri. So it's all happening at Puncham Puriwala. Very exciting food, and I've seen that they also have a dry bhaji, so that also people pack in and take in over there. Someone's asking me how's my back. I sort of pulled it yesterday by picking up a lot of vegetables, and they say vegetables are good for you. but remembering Pancham Puriwala, I think my back is feeling very good at that point, and the memories of the puris. But I'm better. Thanks so much for asking, Sparsh. So I've come there many times, and I've seen different reactions to it. I have very recently gone with a group of German journalists who are part of the Indo-German Media Exchange Program, and for 2 successive years I've taken them on food walks in Fort, and they just love the food, and this was one of their first exposures to Indian food. I've known someone from Agra who'd gone there, not with me, but read about it on Finely Chopped, went there, and then they told me later that it reminded them of home, especially the sabzis, because like I said, Pancham came from Agra, so it's that style of cooking. So the aloo bhaji, then they have nice curry, Punjabi curry, so the North Indian curry. So that's also very nice to try out, and the chas and the lassi, the bhindi. I've also had some other points of views on it. Like there's some people who say that in the past, especially, it was not as hygienic, but ever since I've been going there, which is for the last 5 or 6 years, it's seemed to be a very clean place to be, non smelly. The food has always been nice and fresh. It's got a nice buzz to it. Very very customer focused. Everything being cleaned up constantly. So I've never had any issues. But maybe earlier it was. But like I said, that it's a family run place, and as the place develops with time, it shows the aspirations of the family. So like I said, Mr. Anup, who's probably a bit senior to me because he was my friend Kurush's classmate in college. So he and the family run it, and very recently in my last trip I bumped into his son. So his son has actually returned from somewhere in the West. I don't know if it was Australia or Switzerland or something. He's done hotel management over there, and he told me that he's come back and he plans to work on the family business. So unlike say the Parsi or the Irani cafes where the next generation said, it's too much hard work, we're moving on. But this young man who's gone to the West and studied hotel management, and we spoke 6 months back, so before any pandemic or anything like that. So he has these plans of taking whatever he's learned and sort of help the family business grow while retaining its identity. So, with that sort of attention, I think things will only improve. I've had some people say that, it's overrated. Now, it's very typical for any famous place in a city to be dubbed as being overrated. And I don't know what you mean by overrated, because it's a place which is meant to feed hungry travelers at an affordable budget, and it's good, hot, nice, crunchy puris with a range of nice side dishes. Seasoning is perfect, taste is chatpata, hygiene is good. I don't know what do they mean. What more do they want for a restaurant to excel themselves? And you don't need to care about. I mean, places like Pancham Puriwala and so on don't really need to care about these sort of comments, because that steady flow of customers over the year. Oh, my baby loaf, you've woken up. My cat, baby loaf, has woken up, and he's interested to see what's all the action happening outside. But I'm saying the steady flow of customers which have had over 150 years shows that they have a great product. They have a passionate family running into it, very very committed, and they're willing to move with times. And I'm not sure whether they're already into the delivery business and so on with the lockdown, but I'm pretty sure they're going to come back, and I'm pretty sure that the family which runs it is going to adapt with times, and is going to sort of bring in even better sort of means of hygiene and so on, and up their game, and they will ensure that even for a few more generations, if not many more, Puncham Puriwala will continue to remain a Mumbai legend. So that's everything which I had to say about Pancham Puriwala. I tried to address any comments or questions which came in through the talk. But thanks everyone for joining. But if anyone else has any questions, or anyone else has any comment on Pancham Puriwala, any experience which you would like to share, just type in over there. If there's any other place you want to talk about on Independence Day, or if you feel that I should cover in the next Foodocracy India podcast, tell me about it. It's been lovely talking to you. I was missing the fact that I've not come here and done a podcast, whether it's Foodocracy India or Foodocracy for Her. But like I told you, I was gainfully occupied. But I'm going to come back with more for you on next week, hopefully. And maybe from some stories outside of Mumbai this time. But thank you so much for joining, and wish you a very, very happy Independence Day. Reju George is saying they have desserts or sweets in the menu. There's no question mark or a full stop. So I don't know if it's a question or they're saying. I honestly don't remember. I know that they have dahi vadas and lassis. I don't remember. I've never really had the dessert over there. And my brother Siddharth has joined in. Want to go there on my next visit and would love to have 5 types of puri. Siddharth, we must plan a trip because your office is halfway there and it is near VT. So we should go there, and you're going to love this place. And Imran Ahmed is saying Happy Independence Day. Reju George is clarifying that those are question marks. I'm really sorry. I don't know whether they have desserts. Both my cats are up now. Nimki is up, eating Baby Loaf's food. Baby Loaf is up, not eating his food. And that's the story from what I call the house of cats nowadays. Finally, our house. And thank you once again for joining. Wish you all a very, very happy Independence Day. And I think that in a period where we are locked down because of the pandemic, I think we really need to keep our spirits up, because that's going to ensure that no matter how bleak things seem, we will still remain independent in spirit. And that's the spirit with which Pancham came. Remember, Pancham, who started off the story, walking down 40 days from Delhi, from Agra, and starting it. So that's the sort of spirit we need. My brother's wondering if they have amras. They might have it in summer, but amras is a very seasonal thing. My side of the story is wishing a very happy Parsi New Year to Kainaz and me. Thank you so much. And to you too, Surab Jasawala. So it's Navroz tomorrow. We've ordered from Hungry Cat Kitchen, and we're going to have some nice Parsi food. So thank you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate the fact that you took out time on a holiday evening to listen to this. And hopefully you're making your plans to go to Pancham Puriwala the moment you can soon again. So thank you. Take care. And remember, the pandemic is still there. So please don't get scared by it, but do maintain all precautions. And if you're going out, please wear the mask. Stay home as much as possible. Stay well. And have a lot of breakthroughs. Huh? Don't let all this get to you too much. It's okay. It's out there. But we'll crack it. Okay. Bye. Thank you. I think Baby Loaf is starting his podcast as well. You can hear him mewing over there. So I'm going to end this live video. And for folks who are on Instagram, they can see both cats because it's easier. So that is little Nimki, who's busily having Baby Loaf's food. And there is Baby Loaf over there, who many of you want to see. And they're going to be little like skirmishes over there, and they like follow each other and do what they're doing. So thank you once again, and take care, and happy Independence Day from Mumbai, India. This is Kalyan Karmakar signing off. Good night.